Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine trying to prove the theological concept of love using advanced differential equations.
I mean, it sounds completely impossible, right?
Right. But an inventor named Timothy J. Dillon actually submitted this massive, dense mathematical framework to Pope Leo XIV, trying to do exactly that.
And our mission today is to unpack how this text attempts to bridge fundamental Catholic moral theology with advanced theoretical physics.
Yeah, and I promise you don't need a PhD to see how incredible this is.
Okay.
Let's unpack this setup, because the biographical coincidence here is wild.
Oh, it really is. Dillon and Pope Leo XIV actually shared geographical and spiritual roots right near the Our Lady of Knock Parish in Illinois.
Right, and more importantly, the Pope holds a 1977 math degree from Villanova University. I mean, it's not every day you find a pope who can casually grade your calculus homework.
Exactly. Plus, he belongs to the Augustinian order, so he is steeped in St. Augustine's theology, which famously describes love as a literal gravitational weight.
The Pope is basically the perfect and maybe only audience for this document.
What's fascinating here is how Dillon takes that Augustinian idea of love as gravity and grounds it in a framework he calls the omega point theorems.
Right, the omega point.
Yeah, to really get this, we have to look at a concept called syntropy, which was coined by mathematician Luigi Fantapia.
We all know entropy, right? The idea that time pushes things forward into chaos and disorder.
Exactly. Well, Fantapia looked at fundamental wave equations and saw a mathematical dual to entropy, a retrocausal energy. Think of it not as the past pushing us forward, but the future pulling us toward it like a magnet.
He actually referred to this as the law of love.
He did. And Dillon combines this with the work of Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a Jesuit priest who came up with the omega point.
Which is the idea that the whole cosmos is evolving and converging toward an ultimate state of divine unity.
Yes, precisely.
Okay, but how exactly does Dillon translate a feeling like love or kindness into actual math? I mean, I understand St. Augustine viewed love as a sort of gravity, but here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Dillon proposes that virtues aren't just abstract feel-good ideas. In his framework, they are physical operators. Take Theorem 4, which models kindness. It treats kindness as a mathematical operator that straightens out adversarial geometry.
Which is basically a technical way of saying it physically smooths out the friction and the walls we build between each other.
Yes. And conversely, he maps out dispersion as the math equivalent of sin. It's a force of structural fragmentation that naturally decays our relationships.
And you see that structural fragmentation mapped out in Theorem 4, but the framework actually zooms out to map 30 core theorems showing this entire progression. One that really stands out is Theorem 30, the fear dissolution theorem.
Oh, the fear dissolution one is amazing.
It literally graphs the divine phrase, do not be afraid. In Dillon's equations, fear acts as an entropic amplifier. It's that chaotic, spiraling feeling that bends your moral trajectory away from coherence.
But then the realization of divine presence introduces a syntropic force. It actively collapses that panic and restores a forward, curvature-minimizing trajectory.
Simply put, it mathematically smooths out the wrinkles in your path.
It's one thing to theorize that fear causes chaos on a chalkboard, but Dillon actually wanted to test it, which leads us to why you should care about this moral mathematics.
Right. He didn't just write a paper, he built a Python simulator.
Yes, a working, interactive, Streamlit MVP dashboard where you can plug in parameters for things like kindness and noise and watch how they affect a simulated environment. He turned abstract theology into observable data.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you can see how this simulator offers a tangible tool for the real world, especially looking ahead to the upcoming 2033 Jubilee.
Right, because the Pope has made ecumenical unity among Christian denominations a huge priority.
And Dillon's framework models this unity in a totally new way. It's not about one church institutionally conquering or absorbing another.
Instead, it shows diverse groups naturally contracting toward the exact same Christ attractor. By increasing truth and humility, these groups lower their adversarial distance.
They find unity through a shared gravitational pull rather than forced submission.
So what does this all mean? Ultimately, it suggests that science and faith might just be different vocabularies for the exact same reality. Dillon is translating eternal moral truths into the language of modern physics, creating a space where both can coexist and even prove each other out.
This raises an important question for you to take away. If simple acts of forgiveness physically inject this unifying syntropic energy into human networks, preventing relationships from decaying, how might simulating our own daily conflicts in Dillon's highly empathetic 20D healthcare mode change us?
That's a great point.
Right. If we could simulate our daily friction through that lens, how much would it change the way we interact with our greatest adversaries?